Hey, American contractors, viewers of the American Contractor Show. I'm here with John Dye at Win the Storm, and I have to tell you, anyone that is associated with American Contractor Show, you are a badass.
Big shout out to American Contractor Show. If you don't know, you definitely need to check out the Storm Summit. They're doing it in excellence. Check them out.
Hey, what's up? This is your friend, Francisco Serrano. If you haven't checked it out, American Contractor Show, YouTube channel, Facebook channel, Twitter, Instagram, all the platforms, you need to go them, like them, start learning about your craft.
Hey, I'm Matt Danskin with Restoration Referral System. Check out the American Contractor Show. The truck that they've got is awesome. Everything else that they have going on.
This is Larry Bache with the Merlin Law Group, helping policyholders for more than 30 years. If you have a claim or your client has a claim that needs help, please feel free to call the Merlin Law Group because we are the true policyholder advocate.
And happy Friday, everyone. My name is meteorologist Heather Kane. It's time for our daily hail forecast, sponsored as always by C3 Group, Merlin Law Group, and American Contractor Show. Thank you, as always, for sponsoring not just this video, but all of our other videos. Their links to their pages are in the description below. So let's get right into our weather headlines. We have a show going on today. We're in Nashville, and then we have one more show coming up for Highway to Hail in Orlando next week. So we'll briefly talk about that as well as some other events coming up. And then today it should be a really nice day overall, but it's the last one before we get into a more active pattern for at least a few days. So we'll talk about the severe weather that is possible this weekend, including the city possibly of Dallas-Fort Worth, and see if you guys have any chances on Sunday. But before we get into the forecast, we do have once again some events that are going on, not just right now, but within the next couple of weeks. We are in Nashville today, and then on Tuesday, so 4 days from now, we will be in Orlando closing out our string of cities for the Highway to Hail tour. And speaking of the hail forecast, we will be giving the overall hail forecast for the entire nation. This will be, John will be presenting this next Wednesday at noon. So next Wednesday, which is the 9th at noon, John will be here in the Hail Palace, going live on Facebook and YouTube like we do every day at noon, and presenting the hail forecast. So make sure you tune in and get all the details on what we think is going to happen this season. So we also have the Colorado Roofing Association Trade Show. That is going to be next Thursday, March 10th at the Arapahoe County Fairgrounds. That's in Aurora, Colorado. So we will see you there at that show. And then lastly, we have the Orca Mini Roundup. This will be here in Oklahoma City on March 29th. It's free to attend. There's going to be some classes being given, and also some money off of your Orca membership. So make sure you come on by. This is going to be at the Central Home Builders Association. Yeah, that's a mouthful. Their address is 420 East Britton Street here in Oklahoma City. So make sure you come on by to get some much needed info. So let's take a look at the current conditions across the lower 48. For the most part, we're pretty quiet. We do have some snow going on in the northern part of the U.S. as well as westward into Montana. We have a low pressure off the coast of Oregon and Washington, bringing some showers along the western parts of those states, as well as some snow and mixed precipitation in those higher elevations. And then we have some more light showers in the southwestern part of the U.S. And otherwise, it's pretty nice across most of the U.S. Now, checking in on our temperatures, cold here in the north with that trough still sticking around. It's only 38 in Fort Wayne, 32 in Minneapolis. You go south, though, of that trough, and we start warming up very nicely like we've been doing the last few days. 62 in Kansas City, 73 in Atlanta, and 80 down in Miami, and those 60s and 70s continue to stream northward here in the central and southern plains as well. And in terms of our watches and warnings, we do have some activity going on. We do have a system that's going to be moving on through today and into tomorrow. That's going to bring some wintry weather across the northern plains as well as into the northwestern parts of the Great Lakes region, and some more snow and more mixed precipitation here in parts of the northwest and in the southwest. And then we also have some red flag warnings out for parts of southeastern Colorado, western Kansas, all the way down into most of New Mexico and parts of Arizona. It's really dry, it's warm, so make sure you guys don't burn anything out there. And then it is a bit windy here in Oklahoma City, so we do have some wind advisories out as well. So if we can go forward here, because my computer loves me so very much. There we go. Let's check in on a few cities for tomorrow's forecast. First is Denver. Probably not the best day to get work done. It's going to be not just a bit chilly, but there will be some snow showers going off and on throughout the day. And then here down in Dallas, we will be dry tomorrow. Some clouds will be around. Temperatures will be getting up into the lower 70s by 3 p.m. And then here in Oklahoma City, it will be dry, but it's also going to be windy. So if you guys are going to be working tomorrow here in Oklahoma City, make sure you take some extra caution if you're getting up on those roofs. We don't want anyone to fall off. That's never a good thing. So for today's hail forecast, we don't have anything going on. It's going to be another quiet day, but things are about to change. So let's see what's going to be going on here. We have our future jet stream. That trough is still in the northeast, but it's starting to move out though. So it's going to take some of the cold weather with it. And we do have a ridge going on here in the southern part of the U.S. that's going to be bringing in that warmer weather for the rest of the day today. And before I forget, thank you C3 Group for sponsoring. You can check out the information on our Facebook page link description. But yeah, as we get into the next 24 hours or so, we have this large trough in the west starting to move on to the east. As we get into Saturday afternoon, you can see this little short wave here within the main large trough, and this little short wave is what's going to possibly bring some severe weather to parts of Iowa and Missouri, northward to parts of Wisconsin. And then that one will start to move off to the east, and then the main trough will continue to move on to the east as well, bringing the chance for severe weather for parts of the south. We'll get into more details in just a second. And then this trough will continue to move eastward as we get into the beginning of our work weeks. This is Monday at noon. Plenty of warmth ahead of the system, and it's going to be cold right behind it. And some severe weather will be possible in the southeast on Monday. And then the trough will continue to move on to the east, southeast as we get into Tuesday, into Wednesday. And you can see behind this system, very cold air will once again return to much of the U.S. So sorry, guys. I mean, statistically, it's still winter, so don't get mad at me, okay? I'm just a messenger. So here is tomorrow's future radar. This is at 6 a.m. Central Time, so the sun will be rising. There may be a few storms here and there. Nothing severe, though, is expected as we wake up. However, as we get into later on in the morning, you can see a few more storms may pop up. And once we get to noon, so lunchtime, Omaha, you may see a storm or two. It doesn't look like the main severe weather show is going to be at that time. A few storms, though, will be developing possibly ahead of this line. As we get past noon, though, and we get more heating of the day, you can see more robust activity is expected to develop ahead of this cold front and low pressure. And you can see some individual cells here forming in the Omaha area as well as in parts of Iowa. It looks like tomorrow we could see some small up to $1.25 to $1.5 size hail here. I think the bigger concern is going to be wind and a possible tornado threat. And as we get into later on in the evening, you can see some more isolated storms are expected to develop. So we really got to watch after the lunchtime hour and getting into the evening hours for this, as we could get rocking and rolling here in the state of Iowa especially. And then as we get into later on in the evening, you can see that activity moves on to the east, and we could see some storms here. It's going to be, I think, southeast of Minneapolis. Sorry guys, but you will be seeing some wet weather up in Minneapolis, and we could see some isolated storms here in western Wisconsin. And then getting into the overnight, you can see it continues to move on to the east northeast and then moves out of here by 6 a.m. or so on a Sunday morning. So here is our hail forecast for tomorrow. Again, nothing too crazy as of right now, but $1/4 to maybe $1/2 size hail is possible from Omaha down to maybe as far south as Kansas City. We have to see how this system sets up and the location and all that fun stuff. Des Moines as well, and then northeastward to LaCroix, southward to Davenport, Iowa. So a pretty decent area that we'll be watching for. Again, hail up to $1/2 in size. And then as we look at our wind here, as well as the potential for a tornado or two, or maybe more, who knows? It's Iowa. Iowa is always interesting with these types of systems. Severe winds, 60 to maybe 70 miles per hour from Omaha southward to, again, maybe as far south as Kansas City, eastward to Des Moines, Davenport, northward to LaCroix, Wisconsin. We will be watching this area very carefully as well for severe winds and for that tornado threat, especially here in Iowa. And again, that will be after noon tomorrow. That will be the time frame that we will really start keeping an eye on things. So here are our featured dew points. This is at 12 p.m. So noon tomorrow afternoon. That moisture is starting to really stream up here from the Gulf of Mexico. The values will probably be in the 50s, so we will have some moisture available for thunderstorm development. As we get into tomorrow afternoon and into Sunday, you can see the values start to move off to the east and drop off. But then we have some more moisture return as we have a second low pressure system that will be the spawning of severe weather as we get into Sunday afternoon. And as we get from Sunday and into Monday afternoon, you can see that cold front and all that moisture will be moving on to the east. So we'll be watching parts of the southeast for the potential for severe weather on Monday afternoon. And then you can see by Tuesday, we will still have some moisture in Florida. It's too far out to really see if severe weather will be possible there. Some thunderstorms, though, just general thunderstorms, are likely down in Florida. So we will keep an eye on this for you as we get through the next few days. And you can see as we get through Wednesday and Thursday, really Florida is the only state for the most part that's going to be seeing that moisture, that dry air. Once this system moves on out, or I should say two systems really, we will return to very dry conditions. So here is our Cape. You can see we do have a little bit today, and we don't have that major system yet to really, spawn anything. So no severe weather today, but as we wake up tomorrow, we will have some instability in place here from Omaha southwest to the southeastern part of the state. And as we get into the afternoon hours, you can see that instability starts to move into Iowa. So we got to watch you guys in Des Moines southward to, like I said, maybe as far south as Kansas City. You guys are on the very southern edge of this, so don't jump up and down yet, but you guys do have a small chance. And then as we get into Saturday night, that will move off to the east, and then we'll have more instability coming in here for the southern part of the U.S. as we get into Sunday. You can see, I think the instability and the storms are going to stay south of Oklahoma City, but Dallas, we got to watch you for any southern, what we call tail end Charlies. So the chances here are not zero, but they're not the best either. So fingers crossed if you're in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. I think the better chance to see severe weather will be here in Arkansas as well as in parts of northern Louisiana. And then as we get into Monday, you can see that instability will move off to the east as that cold front moves off to the east as well. So on Monday, we'll be watching parts of Alabama, Mississippi, down into southeastern Louisiana. And then as we get into late Monday and into Tuesday, you can see that we do have a little bit of instability in Florida. It's too far out to really see if there's going to be any severe weather. But like I said, some general thunderstorms are possible there as we get into Tuesday. So a lot to kind of talk about. It's that time of the year, finally, right? So here's our future radar. Just some snow going on in the mountainous parts of the U.S. and into the northern plains. But here is this first low pressure. You can see it here in western Colorado. It's going to be moving off to the east. This is 9 a.m. tomorrow morning. So some ongoing activity is expected. Nothing severe will be going on at 9 a.m. It's going to be mostly afternoon, but kind of just to give you the general idea, that will be developing and moving on to the east as we get through Saturday evening. And then as we get into Sunday, here's that second low pressure. You can kind of see it here in Texas. That will be bringing up that moisture from the Gulf of Mexico. So at the very least, we'll be seeing some much needed rain here in Oklahoma and Texas. We are seeing a deficit of that moisture, but severe weather will be possible here in Arkansas, maybe as far south as the DFW, and that will be moving on to the east as we get into Monday. Unfortunately, more snow and mixed precipitation on the cold side of the system, so it's going to be a bit of a mess. And then as we get into Tuesday, you can kind of see where the trailing cold front is. So we could see a storm or two along ahead of that cold front. Again, it's too early to tell if it's going to be severe weather related or if they're just going to stay general thunderstorms, but we will keep an eye on that for you as we get into Tuesday, and more rain will be going on here in the southeast as we wake up on Wednesday. So here are the areas that we'll be watching for, well, we already talked about tomorrow, so let's talk about Sunday. This is the area that we'll be watching. Parts of Missouri down south into most of Arkansas, westward to just east of Oklahoma City. Tulsa, I think you're going to be in the very western edge. You may even miss out on this. All the way down south to possibly Dallas, Fort Worth. So we really got to watch you guys very carefully. Mother Nature always likes to throw us some surprises, even if they're just in the marginal areas of the severe weather risk. And then eastward to maybe as far east as Memphis. And then getting into Monday, that area of concern will be shifting off to the east. So like I said before, Alabama, Mississippi, down south to southeastern Louisiana, so New Orleans, you could see some severe weather as well as on Monday, northward to maybe as far north as Nashville. So this is for Monday. So that's a mouthful. Make sure that you guys follow us here on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. It's that time of the year, you guys. You don't want to miss any updates, especially if you're in the DFW area or any of the other areas that were featured in today's forecast. And if you have any questions, concerns, if you just want to say hi, you can give us a call at 855-334-4245. You can email us at info@hailtrace.com and check out our website at www.hailtrace.com. And I am meteorologist Heather Kay. I hope you all have a great rest of your Friday and a wonderful weekend.